I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Vita and Chip and Culpy.
This is day 2 of wearing this thingamajig.
Is it still comfortable?
It's a strange reality. Strange thing. It's weird. Very strange.
To have your own face on your body?
Yeah. So if you want to check out the other channel, this channel, it's Middle America with Vin and Sori. And if you want to see this one behind the scenes, are there any new videos up?
Oh, I forgot to put up that one with the kids opening those gifts, where they can see the ungrateful face.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I don't think you've even seen it.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah.
So
I'll
then
have to
there's
edit that.
Yeah. So
Put that up.
you can see how amazing we're doing as parents on the My Story Life channel. This is a band that people have been asking us to do over and over again. Mm-hmm. We did one Christian band before, and for whatever reason, I don't know. I didn't really like the song too much. We've done
do you remember? I do remember doing one Christian song, and they had like a lot of pictures in it that was real corny and stuff, and we couldn't get past that. So
yeah, it's corny.
Yeah,
we should make this Christians react to. That should be interesting because it's a Christian.
Yeah,
it's a Christian thing. Yeah, so it took the mighty pony and her mighty mama-in-law to finally make us go look at a Christian band again.
The power of the in-law.
I don't know, we might do a Christian week. I think I probably have some latent bias against Christian metal, and I don't know why. Because, I mean, metal's metal. If it's good, it's good. If it's not, it's not.
Yeah.
So I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe we'll do Striper for the main stage because a lot of people are saying that Striper is good too. So.
Have we heard Striper? I thought we.
Nah.
We just heard people asking for it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Remember that person that was our friend for like a day and a half?
We've had a few of those. Which
it was like she messaged us and she said like she's a big fan of Striper and all that, and then like we did a review of something and they're like, I'm out of here. Da, 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 da.
Oh my gosh.
Remember that whole situation?
Yeah.
Shout out to the big homie.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we're gonna give it a shot. I am THEOCRACY. Let's do it.
And go.
can't wash away. I am the shelter from the storm that rages on and on. The incorruptible foundation that the wise man builds upon. I am the breath a starving man upon the street. I am the bounty on the table in the palace at the feast. I am the rain upon the earth after a scorching drought. I am the quenching of the thirst you never thought you'd be without. That weaves its way inside your soul. I am the symphony, the masterpiece, the actor's greatest role. I am the poetry that speaks to you with every rhyme. I am the songwriter who seems to write your life in every line. I am the simple truths that shaped your world from your birth. I am the vast volumes of knowledge spanning all across the earth. I am the whisper of the wind you feel but cannot see. I am the Alpha and Omega, first and last, eternal. The resurrection of the life that's child whose simple faith is ever sure. I am the parent's love, unchanging, unconditional and pure. I am the loyal friend whose heart will never let you down. I am the hand that pulls you back into the boat before you drown. The thunder and the glory and the blinding light. I am the still small voice that tells you what is wrong and what is right. I am the sacrificial lamb, a guilty world reviled. I am the father ever waiting for his lost and wayward child. You cannot see me. The resurrection of the life that's always cannot find.
Righteousness hour, and the fourth man you see in the midst of the fire. I am the giver of life and the promise of Israel. I am the hope of the lonely and lost, and the blood running down to the foot of the cross. I am the breaking of chains and the tolling of freedom's bell. I am the notes that eternally ring and the music too holy for angels to sing. I am the fire on the altar consuming the sacrifice. I am the free and I am the one in the grace of the Father and death of the Son. I am the one who redeems you by paying the highest price. I am the Father before the time is I die. Keeper of something in the day.
curse and all your pain. I am divinity, eternity, forever I remain. I am your guilty scars as Roman soldiers tear my back. I am the crimson stain that washes all the souls fade into black. I am the one who bled in silence and endured it all. I am the one who spoke no word with 1,000 angels waiting for my God. I am your covenant, your hero in these bloodstained pages. I am your guilt, your sin, your death fulfilled for all the ages. I step into your shoes, your substitute, your sacrifice, your brazen day, your second chance, your breath of life. I am the joy of angels dancing in the streets of heaven. I am the sinner's prayer for mercy and the past forgiven. I am the lamb upon the altar dying willingly. A hope that was, a hope that is, a hope to be.
Take it from here. You know what I think my problem is? I think that, you know, people are going to get mad at me, but I feel like Christians should be the best at everything that we do. So I think that my standard is a lot higher, and I always feel like that the Christians never meet the standard that I'm looking for in the music. This one, if I was in church and the choir came up and performed this, I'd be blown away. But because I've been listening to, you know, all these other bands, then I hear this and I'm kind of like, it always has like a kind of corny sound to it, the Christian music. I don't know why, but I don't know if it's just my, I don't know, like if I have like a, like you say, biases against it. I'm not sure. I was trying to say, okay, if these were different lyrics and we weren't singing about this, would I think this was cool? Would I really like it? There was some parts of it that I liked, but there was just other parts of it that I was like, no.
I always look for things that are different without being pretentious and progressive and whatever. And that middle part where they were going back and forth.
Yep, I was just looking for that part right here.
That was a unique.
That was.
They were singing at the same time and all that. And of course, you'd have to know. Yeah, that part. That was amazing. That was really good. Something different, kind of progressive, but it wasn't corny and terrible. I love that. I don't know. I like this song. I thought it was. This is kind of progressive almost. You know, as compared to Symphony X, which was kind of, you know, it was 20 minutes, and I was like, oh, it's 12 minutes too long. I think my terminus for progressive type music is about 9-10 minutes max. So this one was kind of progressive. It went a lot of places musically. I thought. I mean, I liked it. I would. There is enough chunky stuff in there for me to where I would listen to it if it wasn't a Christian song. Because everybody knows that I'm cheap. I like cheap, chunky stuff. I'm going to listen to that all day, and I do it unapologetically. So I loved it. I thought it was great. Such a good song. Such a good song.
So this one you'd do again. You'd listen to this again. You'd put this on your playlist.
Yeah, I'm going to Chipotle after this. And
Chipotle was closed last night when he tried to go.
Chipotle in the Augusta was closed, so I got to go to Portland now to get my Chipotle fixed. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be listening to a lot of this on my drive to Chipotle for sure. For sure. I like this song. I'm surprised that I actually did like it. But the other side of that is the lyrics were, and this is only, I don't know how a non-Christian or whatever looks at these lyrics, but when I see these lyrics, they're not just like, oh, they're good lyrics or they're biblically accurate or whatever. Like these, I'm seeing like parts of my life in this.
Really?
Oh, for sure. And it's full of meaning to me. And it's sometimes, I was in this epic 2.5, 3 hour discussion with this guy at like 4 or 5, 6 o'clock in the morning last night, or this morning, whatever it was. And we were grappling about all these complexities and blah 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 and all this, and I needed the mental exercise, so it was fun. But the real simple, basic message of a person who takes your guilty scars as a Roman soldier, washes the crimson stain that washes all the souls faded to black. Just a simple message of substitution, that Jesus took your all of your sins and was punished on your behalf, which my good buddy Alec, eventually we're going to have this in a fireside discussion. Alec thinks that that's immoral, or...
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just that simple message, is eminently meaningful. I'm the Word who spoke no word with 1,000 angels waiting for my call. A lot of that, like, you have to have a biblical reference point for that.
Yeah.
Because that's a deep line.
Yep.
Because Jesus is going to get arrested, and Peter pulls a sword because he's ready to do jihad to defend Jesus, and Jesus looks at Peter and says, "Don't you think I could call my Father and he would send 10,000 angels to defend me?"
Right.
But then how would the scripture be fulfilled, is what he said. And it was the irony of Jesus, who's also called the Word, who spoke no word. Isaiah 53 says, like a lamb led to the slaughter, and like a sheep before his shearers is silent, so he opened not his mouth. Like he didn't say anything to defend himself. And so that's just a very powerful concept to me of it's simple. And as a Christian, especially if you've been born into Christianity, you hear it over and over again, Jesus died for you, yada yada yada. But the meaning of it, a lot of times, that you have to be reminded of the very, very simple truth that happened. But and I understand, some of it's corny, like I'm the joy of angels dancing in the streets of heaven.
There was one part where the rhyming I didn't like. It was... I don't remember where it is. But... yeah, no, I see it. Yeah.
We would spend like 19 hours on this song lyrically, because there's so much.
I liked the part where it said it was when they put up the cross. It said about being the only or something.
The only what?
It had Trinitarian language.
Yeah, the three and the one and only, or something like that.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, I am righteous, I am holy, I am free, and one and only. No, that's not it.
No.
Something about three.
Yeah.
I'm the three, and I'm the one, the grace of the Father and the Son.
But see, I don't think that's what it was. I thought it said, I'm three and yet I'm one and I'm the only, or something like that. But I don't, now you're trying to look for it, it's not pulling up, but,
yeah.
Anyway, I liked that part.
Yeah, I loved it. I get some of it's corny. Angels dance in the street. Okay, that's a corny line. I don't care, because I believe that that's what happens.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean, and of course, I remember I was with this guy Sean. He was a pretty big metalhead back in the day, and anyway, we started talking. He started giving me some guitar lessons on the side, and we ended up talking about God, and then he decided he wanted to follow Jesus, whatever. And he's like, I'm just going to start, I always tell people, oh, start from the Gospel of John. He's like, no, I'm starting from Genesis. So he starts from Genesis. He gets to Exodus, obviously. And he calls me, he's like, yo. He goes, did you see what God called himself? This is so badass. And then he goes, oh, I'm sorry. But
what part was it?
It's when God called himself the I Am. He shows up to Moses.
Oh, yeah.
And then he's like, you cannot get more badass than that. I am. That's all you need to know. But that is such a significant way to address yourself. Because it is so deep with meaning, because everything else in this universe is derivative of something else. And that's the lesson of the burning bush, right? Is that the bush is burning, because that's when God revealed himself to Moses as the I Am, was in the burning bush in Exodus chapter 3. And Moses is looking like, yo, what's going on with this bush? It's on fire, but it's not consumed. And the point is that the fire wasn't dependent on the bush for fuel. That's the point. It was, the fire was its own fuel. And then that's kind of a living picture of God's name, which is I Am. He's this fire that burns on his own fuel. And he sustains himself. And that is just, I could tell, I was like, yeah, Sean, you're right. But I could, you know, and it's one of those things where I wish people could just, like, for 5 minutes, see what happens when you because it's happened. I've seen people, and we've had the opportunity to see a bunch of new Christians, but we've seen people run into something that they've read over and over again, and then boom, like the thing explodes to them, and they see this meaning that, and it blows them away. And he just kind of had one of those moments where he was like, you know, aside from the apologetics and the this and the that and this, it's just he had his Bible, and then it just hit him the significance of I Am and how that is. It's probably the most badass thing to say of all time ever. Like there's no other way to say that I am. That's it. I am all I need within myself. Like, forget it. It's just, and so he got it, and I just remember thinking to myself, yeah. He's completely right, and that's completely the attitude and the awe that he felt when he read that text and read and just he obviously had a moment, you know. So that was good. And then of course he says before Abraham, I am. He said that there's a line like that in the song, which of course is John 8:58, which is one of my favorite passages of all time, where the Jews said to Jesus, you know, you're not yet 50 and you've seen Abraham. And he said before Abraham was, I am. And, you know, that's Jesus claiming to be the divine person. Sorry, Muslims, but Jesus is claiming that he's a self-existent one.
Yep. And they took up stones to kill him.
And they tried to kill him for it.
Yep. Wait, is that where they were trying to push him off the cliff, or the stones? That was the stones?
That was the other time, yeah. So no, I just thought it was great. A lot of theology in this, Trinitarian theology.
It's positive too. Like, you know, I think that we have this understanding that there has to be something greater than we are. Whether, you know, some people believe in like the Christian God, or, you know, the Muslims believe in a lot. You know, like lots of people have this belief in something higher, whether it's aliens or, you know, whatever. But I think, like, I don't know. Like, when you have a belief in something and then you hear the words that go along with it, it's kind of cool. Like, I was reading my Bible. Well, there was that thing that we were watching, that corn thing where it was like Head's daughter was talking.
Yeah. And
Head was talking too, and that lady, where she had entered that program, like that awakening program or something like that, to help her.
Yeah.
And he was saying, like, it was a good environment for her to be in because she was doing really terribly, I guess. And so when she entered that program, like, he said that there was like a lot of positivity, and like this woman was speaking empowering words to her and stuff, and like everything that they were doing, it wasn't about discouragement, it was about empowering her and stuff. And when they said that, I was like, whoa, like, that's really cool, like, to be in that sort of environment where like somebody that's older than you is investing in you as a younger person and trying to, you know, better you as a human being and speak into you and encourage you and stuff like that. And I was like, sometimes I crave that a little bit, like somebody older, like, a lot of times. You've heard me talk about it a bunch of the times, but anyway, so like I was like reading in my Bible, and I got to like Isaiah 40 or 41, I can't remember which one now, and like some of the stuff in there was like so good, and it was very empowering, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot because it's been a little while actually since I've been reading my Bible, and I was like, oh, I forgot how good some of this stuff is in here. But yeah, it's like that thing where sometimes you read it and it's like, it just, you know, whatever, it's just like a book. But then there's other times where you read it and it's like, whoa, like this means something to me. So, So there was parts of the song that I thought were cool and stuff, but it was very, the choir part was, it sounded like a choir in some of the parts, which is very, I think choirs bring me back to, I don't know, some negative thoughts and feelings. So that might be why I'm kind of like,
You mean the chorus?
There was different parts in there where there was like multiple voices and it didn't sound like, it sounded like a choir. I don't know how else to say that. I'm not sure if it was the chorus or what parts, but.
Yeah. Then he said, I am symmetry. Mm-hmm. That's really, really good.
Yep.
Really, really good. Truth, beauty, goodness. Yeah, I really, really like this song. And I feel like, I think there's some people that can like the song regardless, whether or not you're a Christian. Mm-hmm. But there are other parts of it where it's like, okay, you have to be a Christian to know or appreciate that, or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like, you know, on our side where it's like Behemoth is like, what's he talking about, Bartzabel? You know, what is that?
Yeah.
Unless you're reading a lot of intertestamental literature, which, you know. So yeah, I mean, I would have loved to have seen the kind of depth of lyricism that you kind of see with the Behemoth on the Christian side, because I think there's a lot of, you can go a lot of places with some of the themes in the scripture as far as converting into metal and you know, battles between good and evil and spiritual forces and things like that. So I'd like to see like a Christian vision Behemoth type of thing. So, you know, I hear you as far as, because Behemoth is never corny when they're worshiping the devil.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so there's a lot of like ways that there could be Christian versions of that. You know, like for "Oh Thou So and So" is, you know, that you see a lot in Behemoth lyrics is really Augustinian, because Augustine would say "Oh Thou" X, Y, and Z in relation to God. So yeah, I definitely see that. You know, I wish there'd be a band that could go and look at like early Christian literature, like Aquinas and Augustine, how they talked about God and good and evil and the devil, because it's really epic stuff. And then translate that to music. That would be great. I think these guys are trying to be just very upfront, in your face about it. And for me, it did the job. Maybe it's because of where I am spiritually or whatever, but I really like the song. What do you give it?
7.
It's a 9.8 for me. The lyrics could have been a little bit more poetic and complex, so I had to give it a deduction. But couldn't give it a 10. But 9.8 for me. Very good. Thank you, Ponies Mom. I appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Vin out.
Sorry out.
Gone.